Well, hello everyone. It is Karen Ann Harlos, the Pink Parliamentarian, and I am laughing. I'm going to let you in on an inside joke with me all in black. I joke that as parliamentarians, we don't all have to look like funeral directors. Usually, as you've seen, I like to dress colorfully. I think you can tell I like color, but here I am all in black. So, touche, I guess. Anyway, I am so glad to have you here. This is my regular, it was weekly, but I think I'm going to go to bi weekly. I have an awful lot on my plate, and I do have some other shows we'll talk about, but it's the tips and hints on parliamentary procedure, particularly Robert's Rules of Order. I am a registered parliamentarian with the National Association of Parliamentarians. You can check out my services and resume at pinkparliamentarian.com. I do think my rates are very reasonable if I don't say so myself. I have served as convention parliamentarian for numerous political conventions, but also as an advisory parliamentarian, particularly in bylaws for several other nonprofits. And I would love to assist your organization. My motto is that the rules work for us. We do not work for the rules. And phew, we just got through our multi-part series on voting thresholds and the number of people to which they apply to, and then the certain percentages that get applied to those numbers. And if you are new to parliamentary procedure, or you would just like to brush up, I would go back and check out those episodes. They will certainly give you some education. Even when I go through these basic things, I learn things myself. But this time, we are going to talk about voting threshold statistics that are often reported out with a credentials committee report at a convention. And I admit this really is a pet peeve of mine, particularly in an organization that I am involved with. So I'm criticizing close to home, but criticizing with love. Now, here's what Robert's Rules of Order says should be in any initial credentials report. Let's get out my notes and my glasses. So we're going to Robert's Rules of Order 5923. The Credentials Committee report, which is read by the committee's chairman, states in substance that, quote, attached is the list of the names of the voting members of the convention and their alternates who have been registered up until, and then they would indicate the hour to which the list is corrected. This statement should be followed by whatever statistical summary is customary in the particular organization, frequently including a breakdown according to the basis of voting membership as indicated in Roberts 5914 subsection 3, which we're going to look at, and always gives the total number of convention members entitled to vote and the number of registered alternates. Okay, so since this section did refer to another, basically a statistical summary customary to the particular organization. But remember, customs can be changed, and sometimes they should be changed. And bad customs definitely should be changed. So let's go to that other section it referenced, which was 5914, subsection 3. And it says, compilation of the list of members entitled to register and the basis of this right, such as an officer who is a convention member ex officio, unit president, elected delegate, alternate, etc., arranged for quick reference, such as alphabetically by districts, clubs, sections, or as may be suitable. Now, all of that makes sense, but let me explain to you why I think we've developed some bad customs in the organization of which I am a member. It's a national organization that sends delegates to its national convention by states. So states are the constituent units. There aren't different levels of voting rights. So that part is pretty simple, but there are also alternates. And we do report out the number of seated delegates and the number of qualified alternates that are checked in. Now, here is an example of something that was reported out a few conventions ago. This is typical. I'm not trying to pick on any particular convention. It was just one that I found handy in the minutes. And what it says is, as of 9:15 a.m., there were 893 delegates registered in attendance and entitled to vote. Good enough. Notice alternates are missing, though. They should be reported out. Quorum is 358. A majority is 447. 2/3 is 596. And 7/8 is 782. Also, I want to let you know that our quorum is 40%, so don't be distracted by the fact that it is not, a typical quorum. It is a lower quorum. And we also have a certain document in our bylaws that can only be amended by 7/8 of all registered delegates at convention. So that's why the 7/8 is mentioned. That is something peculiar to our organization. What I want to focus on is a majority is 447 and 2/3 is 596. Wait, what? What happens if inevitably there are people that aren't in the room or people that choose to abstain and the chair declares something passed by a majority vote? There is always someone new who is like, wait a minute, that was nowhere near 447. Do you see what the problem is? That is not what a majority vote means, as we went through in multiple episodes. It means a majority of those present and voting. So there will be people not present out of the total number of eligible voting delegates, and there will certainly be people who abstain. So that number, as worded, is functionally useless and only serves to confuse people. Yes, as we discussed, I think it was last episode or the episode before it, where there are some circumstances where some things that would normally need a 2/3 vote can pass by a majority of the entire membership. But notice that's not what the Credentials Committee report said. That would be a useful number. And the 2/3 number in my organization is absolutely useless. That number should be omitted entirely. It is at best misleading and at worst completely wrong. So in my organization, if you have to give these kinds of statistics, what it should have said is a majority of the entire membership is 447 and 7/8 of all registered delegates is 782. But since both of these instances is so rare, I don't find them useful at all. The voting membership and the number of qualified alternates is what matters. But we are so used to giving these numbers, and you've probably seen it in organizations you're involved with. People feel like they're getting cheated if they don't get them, but they're actually being cheated of understanding if they do. So if those numbers aren't given and an objection or a request for information or a parliamentary inquiry is made from the floor, I think the chair should use that as an educational opportunity as to why the numbers, as people are used to, are useless. Well, okay, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I hope you found that useful. Please check out my other channels and subscribe to this one if you did find it useful. My other channels are Pink Flame of Liberty, where I give political commentary from a libertarian perspective, and Jurassic Dictionary, where I went dictionary, that was fun, where I examine old, dying, obsolete, unusual words, particularly if they have a cool backstory. Also, check out my professional website at pinkparliamentarian.com. And remember, I would love to be of service to your organization. So until next time, have an awesome day, night, afternoon, whatever it might be in your wonderful part of the world. Thank you so much for joining me.